What's up, boys? It's been a minute. I'm coming live from a garage on vacation. It's very hot and humid in here. We're about to get into some hot topics as well. This is the return of Aiden Squared MMA. This is our pro debut. Listen, everything before this was just amateur. We had to get a little layoff, make our transition into the pros, and now here we are. We got Google Slides. I mean, how much more professional than that can it really get? You feel me?
I mean,
So,
we could have spelled Rizvan right, but
yeah, I
that might
guess
make
we
it a little
could
more
have.
professional.
Yeah, it is with the Z. However, I want to know what you guys think Rizvan Kuniyev's next matchup is going to be, Weller.
Next met, like, yeah, it's interesting because for him,
First
I would
off,
have said like a
we could get into
Blades, but
what we
obviously,
think his future in the division is. What do you think his ceiling is in the division? Because
I think he
me
could be
personally,
like,
I think he's honestly good enough to be a future top five heavyweight with his athleticism and like his ability to hurt people in the feet and like solid takedown defense. I've always thought of him as like one of the better tail end ranked heavyweights. So I like this performance. I feel like it
yeah,
confirmed some of the things I thought about him. He has quick hands,
I
good
think he,
striking. Uh, I
yeah,
feel
I
like
think
he
he
could
looked a lot
beat
better,
anyone who's
showed
like an elite
improvement.
heavyweight. Like I think Volkov would beat him, but like I think he could give a good fight. Like he gave a good fight to Curtis Blades already. I think him versus Hokit would honestly be like a pretty interesting fight. Um,
Yeah,
I think this guy's good, man. I think especially when like some of these older guys get out of the division, I think he's easily going to be in the top five. For his next matchup, I'm not 100% sure, honestly.
what do you think about a Pavlovich matchup?
I would fuck with that heavy because I was thinking like this guy is very, very similar to Pavlovich, but I feel like his arsenal is a little bit more diverse than Pavlovich's, and I feel like you don't
Yeah,
know how he's gonna like approach a fight as where I feel like Pavlovich is gonna come at you with the hands. I feel like Rizvan has a lot more tools as far as like his legs and his knees.
I agree with that.
He
Yeah,
also can
I mean,
grapple like solidly well. I don't think he's really gonna use it much offensively now that he's like a
he has
higher
very good takedown defense though.
guy. But yeah, he has good takedown defense, and I just think I don't know. I don't think there's any reasons that he can't be a top heavyweight here.
I think he could maybe challenge for the title. I don't see him as a future champ, maybe in like a division where there's a dominant champ and someone's running through the division, Puniev could challenge for a title, but I
Hmm.
don't think he's definitely not a future champ. Maybe like a top three, top five fixture for a few years, I think.
Yeah, we're super professional. We also have just learned how to put us in the bottom corner instead of the top corner covering the visuals. Um, so all right, we're gonna go on to the next slide. Magomed Saidov. So I was not expecting this at all. Like this guy, he got poached from the PFL, and I thought he had a really good chance of winning this matchup. But like at the same time, like I kind of counted him out. Like I never thought like, ah, this guy's ass. Like there's no way he wins. But at the same time, it was one of those like close odds matchups where I just thought Jacoby was gonna win. Or maybe Saidov would win by like a slight close decision. But man, did he demolish Jacoby. And that was a really impressive performance. Like this is the exact kind of thing we need at light heavyweight. We're gonna get into the problems at light heavyweight later, but for now, we got something looking on the bright side. This guy is really, really talented. I really liked his speed. I like the way he put his combos together. He didn't look phased by the moment at all. He took this on short notice as well. I thought that was going to be a big problem. I thought, Jacoby being a veteran would be able to win this one against the guy coming on short notice. Wow, did this guy look great. Me and Weller loved Tushalov, another guy who fought on this card who looked really good in his previous fights. We weren't super high on Saidov, but wow, he really flipped the narrative of who we think is going to be next in this 205 division because I was really impressed by this performance.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really good on the feet.
Hmm.
Definitely good striking, very powerful, good kicks, deep arsenal on the feet. He's definitely a fun fighter to add to this division, I think a matchup with one of Guskov, Mirzakhanov, or Reyes would make a lot of sense next.
Hmm.
I think those guys are all in a position where they got to fight down the rankings in all likelihood. And I think this guy is somebody who should be pushed quickly in a light heavyweight division that doesn't have a lot of rising contenders. And I think he's ready for a top 10 step next
Yeah, I
after
would
beating
love to see
Jacoby the
him
way he
versus
did.
Reyes. I think that'd be a really good matchup.
Yeah.
Ceiling wise, I honestly think that I see him as a top 10 guy. I mean, he's already like fringe top
I think
15
he
of this
already
man.
is top 10 level ish.
Yeah. I think I think yeah, like I don't know if that's just the meta rankings or if it's the actual rankings, but I know one of them had him at 15.
I mean, I think
Um
if he fought Gruskov, I think I would pick him to win in that fight.
I mean, especially right now, like Guskov's confidence has to be like really, really low after that loss, I feel like. At least after watching it back.
Yeah, and Gruskov is a very one-dimensional fighter. Like
Hmm.
he's mostly just a head-hunting brawler, and I think Saidov
Hmm.
would be much more technical than him and probably beat him and finish him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited about this guy. He was poached from the PFL. Like if you follow any like the news accounts on Instagram, you might get like this guy was signed to the UFC, this guy was signed to PFL. This guy was originally signed to PFL, and then he was signed for this Jacoby fight. So this is really great to see. This is, one of the rare moments of UFC management going out and getting the right guy. So this is a nice bright spot right here. Moving on, bro. We got a little thing on this channel we like to call the chalk outline. And if you put someone in chalk outline, you gain a little bit of respect. Now, I might have picked Steve
Especially at
Erceg.
flyweight.
I might have picked Steve Erceg. That's my bad. I was trying to look cool. I thought he was going to look good after the first round. We didn't get past the first round because this
But
dude forced
you
Steve
read my
Erceg
breakdown.
into a chalk
I got
outline.
that perfectly.
You did. However, you
And
didn't
he
get
is
Navajo Sterling, and we'll get into that later.
that was a hope pick. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That was a hope pick. But
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people thought Jan was going to win that like handedly. This
I
might have been a hope pick a little bit for me. But wow, this was really impressive. Like to be able to do that at flyweight, oof, we might have another Manel Kopp at our hands, another dude from Ryzen who comes over and just starts beating the shit out of people. Like
I
his
mean
only kind of like
crazy
Kopp, his only
power.
real weakness, I guess I would say, is on the ground. But other than that, when he's on the feet, he is an absolute problem.
We haven't really seen his grappling tested that much. Like,
Not really, only not in the UFC.
yeah,
Outside the UFC a little bit.
it could definitely be a future champ if things work out the right way. He's still younger. He's only 29.
Yeah.
He's like 20-2. I mean, this dude's got all the potential in the world. Like the
Hmm.
way he hits really hard, he's really quick. What do you think should be next for him?
Who do you think? I don't know. I mean, Urseg was ranked what, 10 before this?
Yeah,
So that I mean that puts him right into the mix at flyweight. I think Asu Almabayev versus Brandon Royval makes a lot of sense. I would make
I
that
agree.
fight, so I would take those two like
Yeah.
out of that picture. Um,
Yeah. Looking at the top of
I
flyweight, I
feel
mean,
like
obviously,
I feel like him versus Loner Kavanaugh would be crazy. Like taking like I love Loner Kavanaugh, but like taking out like, oh, I like this guy, I like that guy. I think that fight makes sense and would be really awesome. I think Kavanaugh should probably be fighting down. I think Tamarov deserves a big fight up. I think that would be really interesting.
I think
I think
that or
Kavanaugh should have
Horiguchi would make
something to prove
sense.
there. What'd
Yeah,
you
I
say?
think that or Horiguchi would make a lot of sense for
Horiguchi would
Temerov.
be cool. Two rising guys.
Yeah, because Horiguchi and Kavanaugh both probably need to fight down in the rankings, and Kavanaugh or Temerov, I should say, deserves
Yeah.
a step up in
I think
competition.
I think
So
Temerov in this matchup, I mean, if he had won by like decision or something, but I think he clearly proved that he's a step above getting like an Amir Albazi or Brandon Moreno. Like I feel like if he gets one of those two,
yeah,
like and he beats him, like I don't really think that proves anything to me. So I would like to see him at least fighting Inasu Amabayev. Although I don't think that matchup will make. will
Yeah.
be
Well,
made
I don't
because I
know.
think Brandon Royval is going
Yeah.
to fight him. Uh,
I don't
I
know what
think
happens
he
with
should get
Tatsuro
top
Taira
seven.
next as well.
Tatsuro Taira, I don't
I
know.
don't know what's going to happen to him next.
I could see him getting Horiguchi in Japan
They could do that, but both
if they
coming
do
off
the Japan
losses, it
card.
loses a bit of
I don't
hype,
know if
but
they'll do a Japan card though.
they probably won't.
I don't think they will.
Too cheap.
All right, let me get into something. This is possibly a hot take. I don't know if you noticed this at the bottom of the slide, Weller, but I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate. A lot of people say, the heavyweights should be allowed to juice, but hear me out. Let's let both of the tail ends of the UFC juice. Let's let the big guys and the little guys juice. I want to see little roided up meatballs and big ass Goliaths going at each other. You know what I mean? Like, the other in between ones, it's whatever. They can be, USADA. I know USADA's gone, but like they can be
Yeah.
tested or whatever. Let the little dudes and the big dudes just have at it. No holds barred. I feel like
The
Temurov,
little guys need the power and the big boys need the cardio.
exactly, dude. I feel like it just makes these divisions better. Like the little dudes, if they have steroids, they have way more power and like they look even just a little bit quicker. Like they're already super quick, but when they're roided up, they just look scary. Um, and they
Flyweight's
can
coded
just,
anyway, bro.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't need it as much. I just thought it was a cool take, like,
Nah.
because bro, these little dudes, when like if they can be hella muscled up, like extra muscled up, imagine the level of fights plus the number of knockouts we'd get in flyweight. That's all I'm saying. Heavyweight. Genuinely, you should let them dudes roid up. Like it's
I agree.
actually like a detriment to the division that like these guys can't do steroids because they just are too blobby, and then these other divisions have like better look or not divisions. These other promotions have sometimes better looking heavyweights because they're allowed to do roids. It's just kind of
Yeah.
an annoying situation I'd like to get rid of. Moving on. Oops. The state of light heavyweight. It's not good. In fact, some would say it's
No, it is not.
very poor. Um, and honestly, man, that Ankalaev versus Guskov fight right here in the top left, it was really bad. And I wasn't expecting it to be that. Honestly, I don't know, man. I was pretty much expecting like an early knockout from Guskov on some crazy stuff. But I wasn't really expecting that. Or what I was expecting a lot more was like a round two counter from Ankalaev. That's what I thought was gonna. I thought it'd be like a round two, round three KO on the feet from Ankalaev. Like he hits a nice, like honestly very impressive counter and puts Guskov away. It like hurts him bad. That's not what happened, bro. This was one of the
Yeah.
worst stoppages. Like I'm not talking about like ref bad stoppage. I'm talking about like least interesting stoppages I've ever seen in my entire life. Like this looked
Yeah,
like
that was
the ref just didn't want to be reffing anymore and was just like, you know what, this is kind of close enough to a finish. Let me just get these boys out of here. That was ass.
that's actually what it was.
And I'm not gonna like attack Guskov because Guskov has had some good fights, but in this fight, man, what the hell were you doing, bro? Like,
You look scared, honestly, on
like
the
it was
feet.
just it was just not what you want to see out of a guy like, coming up for a big opportunity. He didn't look like he was really trying that all that hard. Like, I don't know. It seemed like he was almost just trying to go the distance, and then he didn't even end up accomplishing that. Um,
Yeah.
so let's start talking about something because this has been a discussion. Trades have happened in the past. It's really only been like one, if we're being for real. It's just Ben Askren versus Demetrius Johnson in the
Yeah.
one championship and UFC trade. But honestly, I feel like at this time, we're going to get into the PFL MVP merger later. With all the drama around the UFC promotions, something tells me, a trade could happen, It's possible. I feel it, kind of feel it in my bones that someone's going to get traded away from the UFC. I don't know if it'll be Ankalaev, but I kind of
Yeah.
see it happening. Maybe it'll be a different promotion. Maybe it'll be two. two promotions that aren't even the UFC trading fighters, but I just feel it. And I'm thinking,
I mean,
Dean Thomas brought this up. Who would you train Ankalaev for? You know?
Usman
Dean Thomas
Nurmagomedov.
brought up Dakota Dacheva. I wasn't a big fan of that idea personally. What are your thoughts on that, Weller?
Uh, I don't. I mean, I feel like with Decheva's last couple performances, I feel like that doesn't make as much sense. Her star power isn't
Hmm.
as high as it once was. Like,
Exactly.
obviously, I'd still love to see her in the UFC because she'd be a great contender at flyweight. But I don't think like Uncle Live is probably more valuable. I'd take
I
him
would
for
agree.
Usman Nurmagomedov. Like, but I don't think there's any other. Maybe like Nemkov, but I don't think that really makes sense either. Like,
Yeah, I don't think Usman fought his last fight, so I don't think he can get traded unless they sign him on a
yeah,
new contract. Um, but I think Dakota, she's gone to a couple decisions that she probably shouldn't have gone to in her last few fights. And
as a
honestly,
minus 8,000 favorite.
what I'm thinking here, if we're gonna trade, like obviously, maybe the women's divisions could use a little help. Maybe they could use a Dakota Dacheva. Me personally, when I think of, what divisions are, glaring issues and need some help, I think of middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight, with light heavyweight and heavyweight in particular. Now, as much as I would
Yeah,
like to get, a good light heavyweight prospect from PFL, there aren't really any that are like glaring. Maybe one of them will have a good performance and then they'll show
no,
themselves as being good, but like as of now, looking at the roster, there's not one that I'm like, wow, this guy, I want to bring him to the UFC. There are a couple middleweights that I have on this slide right here that honestly, I wouldn't be super against trading Ankalaev for. Now, Van Steenis, I don't see, he's 34, he's a bit old. He is the champion of the PFL, was able to choke out the other guy on this slide, Johnny Eblin. But honestly, personally, Johnny Eblin was winning the first four rounds of that fight. I'm not going to act like I watched it, but watching Johnny Eblin's highlights, this dude is nasty. He's a very, very good wrestler. Has some pretty good power along with that wrestling. I think he'd be a very interesting contender to have in middleweight division. I think Van Steenis would be somewhat interesting. I wouldn't love getting him as much as Johnny Eblin. And I think Vadim
yeah,
Nemkov honestly would be a pretty big get for the UFC. Current state of heavyweight,
yeah, that would be cool.
yeah. I think he would be pretty easily a top five contender, top seven at the very least. Um, and I just think, honestly, I don't know if it'll be Ankalaev, but with the state of like some of these contenders from Russia, like not really being super entertaining, I feel like I could see one of them getting traded. I don't know why they didn't do that with Mikhaev. They just kind of, let him go
They
for
need to
some
bring him
reason
back,
instead of
but
trading him. But moving on. Who's next for Carlos Ulberg? Does anybody have a conclusive title bid for being real? Or is it just
no,
nobody? This
no.
guy's also
There
injured.
needs to
When will he be
be.
back? You know? This is the
I
light
mean,
heavyweight picture is just sad. It makes
I
me
feel
sad.
like everyone needs one more win, whether it's Ankalaev or Roundtree or Sterling or Costa, like, or even Hamzat if he moves up.
Hmm.
Like, I think all of those guys would need one win to really solidify themselves as a title
And
contender.
I was thinking about like Sterling versus Costa as like a potential like title eliminator, but like for some reason in my brain it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like a 5 versus 6 matchup, and like yes, both of them are probably the best two like rising contenders in the division, but I feel like I don't think I would favor either of them in a matchup with Carlos Ulberg, even him coming off that injury. Like if
I
Carlos
don't think
Ulberg is healthy, I think I would pick him to beat Sterling or Costa.
I wouldn't hate like Ankalaev versus Sterling and then Yuri versus Costa. And then
Hmm.
whoever comes out of that most impressively is the one that challenges for the title. But yeah, it's just really tough to see. Ulberg is probably not going to be back until February at the earliest. Like he's probably still out another 6 months at least.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, it was his
coming
ACL.
off of that
I mean,
injury.
I don't know how good the
Yeah.
doctors are in New Zealand. I would assume they're pretty good, but
They need to give him some time to
he might have like
fully
that like Kevin
recover.
Durant doctor. Who knows?
Yeah, but still, I think they'll
So,
probably hold him out just to be safe. And
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, with the current state of the division, I don't even think the injury is like that detrimental. Now that I
no,
really think
it's
about it,
actually
because I feel
not.
like someone needs to prove their worth to this division getting a title shot. And honestly, I could see
Yeah.
like I could see like honestly if I saw even if Paulo Costa versus Sterling got made like the contender versus contender matchup that I proposed, like I feel like even if, let's say Sterling wins that, he's what, 12 and 0, just beat Costa. I still feel like he might need one more win to solidify
But
himself as a title
in
challenger.
like a division with real contenders, maybe, but in this
Yeah, that's the thing.
division,
They might
maybe
they
not.
they might just have to give it to him. But like an ideal world, I would like to see him fight like I don't know, maybe uh fight Costa and then fight Yuri or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe Pereira comes back down and challenges Holberg,
I would
which I don't
like to
think is
see
happening,
Pereira
but
come down. I think he's up at heavyweight. All right.
yeah, I mean, I don't.
Ready for the next slide?
Sure.
Valesto Seppo, bro. This is if you don't know now, you know. This man was whipping up shit in the kettle. Whipping up shit in the kettle. Like actual shit in the kettle. Yes, like actual shit. This dude, like I said it the moment this dude came out, had his hands like it was like he had a point to keep his hands like at his nipples. Maybe a little bit. I'll give him a little bit. All right, it wasn't his nipples. I'll give him a little bit. But he had his hands like a little bit above his nipples, like at like his pecs. And it was like he was just winging these like terrible technique punches that looked like they'd came from someone who'd never fought in their life. Like these like weird little like noodly uppercuts coming from like his lead hand and like he never feinted a single shot or took a back step or threw a kick or did anything like to set up any of his attacks. And his
Yep.
chin was just undefended the entire time. And this begs the question, how is this man 14 and 3? How?
I mean, he might be the worst fighter on the roster, next to
And
like Alan Fry, maybe.
and me and Will were
Uh,
talking, like,
who's
if you
he?
look at his tapology,
Who
some
might
of the
be
guys
who?
he's beaten aren't like don't have terrible records. Like it's not one of those records where this guy's fighting like 9 and 10 and 1 and 2. This guy was fighting dudes with like conclusively winning records in like octagon and stuff.
Uh, he might have just been getting like favorable matchups, I guess,
Yeah.
but like still to get
I
chinned
don't
by a Gilbert Urbina jab is really, really bad.
I don't want to, put too much hate on anybody, but man, eh, he needs to go up to the drawing board and figure something out after that performance. I assume they're gonna give him like honestly, I feel like Hunter Campbell is looking at the performance like we're gonna give Vlasto Seppo like some nasty prospect so that we can make that prospect look really good. So I think this guy is not gonna get cut. I think they're gonna put
Yeah.
him against some like really good prospects. So if this guy wants to get a win, man, you need to get in the gym, bro. Like figure out the technique a little bit. I don't know what happened. He must have just been
Yeah. He would
nervous.
need to fight like he literally would need to fight like somebody god awful for you to pick him, like Julian LeBlanc or Ben Johnston or
Yeah,
something. That's like I will never pick this guy again,
no.
realistically.
All right, Michael Oliveira, man. This guy, my goodness. Unbelievably impressive. Now, I've been glazing this guy ever since I watched him fight in the Contender Series. I remember I was in my room just watching this dude, or I think I was actually walking around my campus, and bro, this dude was just absolutely piecing up this dude, Victor Venezuela, in like the most like interesting way as well. Like he wasn't just walking forward, tossing big hooks. Like he was looking really, really potent, sniping this dude with like really good combos, really quick. In this Oban Elliott fight, he looked like a world beater. I'm not gonna lie. He got, maybe he got caught like slightly. He didn't, I wouldn't say he got caught. He got touched with a couple of right hands at the beginning, but I honestly feel like he did a good
Not
job like
really, though.
using he used his parry to like pretty much take all the power out of the shots. So basically like even if they might have like touched his face, they didn't actually have any power behind them. So essentially he didn't get hit like this entire fight. Like he might have gotten, slapped across
Yeah.
the face with those right hands, like, but they didn't really do anything. Like he was able to like push down the hand of Oban Elliott as he was going to throw the right hand. If you train, you know this, like if someone grabs your hand as you're throwing and pushes it down, like it can still land, but like you're not gonna like that punch isn't gonna do anything. They effectively like block that punch. Um, and this dude is just a sniper, bro. And I want to match him up with someone soon, man, because I think he just came off this injury. I think he's going to be really hungry for a new matchup. Like the UFC likes to reward activity, and I think after that performance, there's no reason to not give this guy a matchup on a card soon. So who do we think we give him next?
Charles Radke, your time has come. It's over for you.
Over for you.
Him or
Imagine the
like,
UFC just gives him like Alex Morono for like no reason. Sometimes they do that. Like if you beat someone,
dude, they
like
do.
they'll be like, oh, you got like a pretty solid like Oban Elliott. Like technically, it was like 3-2 in the UFC before this fight. It's like he had a winning UFC record. It's pretty
Yeah, I
solid. Yeah,
mean, who do you beat though?
like
Val
cans.
Woodburn,
Yeah, Val Woodburn. Val Woodburn is actually
Michael Oliveira versus
talked
Randy
about
Brown.
later on these slides as well. That's funnily enough. But who do we think we should get? He should get after that. I mean,
Radke, I think makes sense. Randy Brown coming off two
Randy Brown
losses.
could make a lot of sense, I think.
Like, I don't know, maybe like
Let's see. This guy would
Nicholas
destroy
Dalby
Kevin
or something.
Holland. I know Kevin Holland had to pull out of that fight against Jacoby Smith.
Dodged a bullet.
That could be interesting because I think Kevin Holland would fight again soon.
He will, yeah.
Honestly, like no. I almost don't want to do that, but I do kind of want to do that. Like, nah, I'm not even gonna mention that.
Throw him like Carlos Leal or something.
Carlos, I think I think him versus Axel Sola would actually be a good matchup. They both
That'd be
fought.
Solo's at lightweight though.
Oh yeah, he did fight at lightweight. That's interesting.
That would be a sick
He's a
fight.
big ass lightweight though.
Yeah, he's massive for
He's
the
listed
division.
as both. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to see him fight again soon, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
uh, that little jit, Ty Miller, he can get it, bro. That little jit, Ty Miller can come and get it, bro. I know
Chris
he's fighting
Curtis.
soon.
Yo,
Better
let's
get
get Chris Curtis slimed out.
better get through your matchup, bro. Ty Miller and Michael Oliveira is coming for you. We're gonna get the Dana White's Contender Series matchup. Hell yeah.
Give him Chris Curtis. I want to see Chris Curtis get
Chris
KO'd.
Curtis would get flatlined by this guy.
I want to see that.
By the way, apparently this dude weighs 210 pounds outside of camp.
I mean, look at the guy. Like,
I believe it. I 100% believe it.
yeah, I do too.
This is him at his absolute, like, this is him weighing in. So, like, yeah. All right, moving on. Somebody found Tafik Musayev's Instagram account. I don't know who found it. It wasn't me. I just saw it got posted to Instagram. Someone got a DM from Tafik Musayev. He said, "Yo, this is Tafik. Guys, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. You can look it up. Tafik Musayev's real Instagram account. It's verified on Instagram, by the way. Is walk them down and cut off they meet. This is his new nickname, WTDA COTM, walk him down, cut off they meet, Tafik Musayev. This dude's style, if I really had to describe it, he just throws massive right hands and massive right leg kicks. And it is a joy to watch. And he's really, really good at it. Like, he's mastered doing this in like a genuinely tactical way. Like he does throw caution to win a solid amount. He's super aggressive, gets into the inside really quickly in his fights.
His defense isn't that bad
But
though.
at the same time, yeah, his defense is good. And I feel like while he gets like in exchange big exchanges, I feel like he does a good job of timing his shots and he really knows how to land his power shots. It's very interesting. And I want to see like I feel like honestly, after beating Klein and Bahamundes back to back, I think he has a bid to face potentially a ranked opponent.
They put
And
him
if
into the meta
not, a
rankings.
very, very high unranked opponent in the lightweight division.
Yeah. All right.
Who were you thinking?
I thought of a few names here. First name is your boy Manuel Torres. Torres
Torres would be a
CM.
slime, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He might. Either of them, like that would be an amazing fight. I would love that fight.
That would be super cool.
Torres
Torres
might just
CM.
sub him. Like that's the thing. Torres might just do the jiu-jitsu and sub him. There's a
That
potential
is true.
chance. That would be I would love that matchup.
I also ZM could make sense.
That would be a good fight.
Maybe like a Dober, Duncan.
Udover, Duncan, yeah. I think Dunk like I feel like I do want to see him fight a ranked guy. Like, I don't know.
I think
Neil
Torres would be
Dariush,
super cool and makes. Oh no 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 no!
your time has
Can,
come, brother.
can we give Vanille like Grant Dawson?
Yes. Give him Grant Dawson or like ooh, give him Narulo Aliev actually.
Have, I'll
Okay.
have called him out. That actually makes sense.
I
So
don't want to give Aliev that though.
no,
Honestly,
I
if
don't
I'm being
either. But
real. Give him Mason Jones actually. Loki, I feel like that's a banger introduction for
that
Mason Jones in the rankings.
versus Dariush
Yeah.
after he beats Medeiros.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. He's gonna beat Medeiros. All right. Anyway, I do want to see this guy introduced in the rankings of the division potentially, or at least, or not introduced,
How good is
fighting
how
for a
good is
ranking.
Miktabek Oral by?
He's good, man. I think especially without a weight cut, like being able to try to implement a wrestling offense in a welterweight division that really only has wrestlers like on the come up. Like there aren't really wrestlers in the rankings right now. Like there are some good wrestlers outside the rankings, like Jacoby Smith. Is Tommy Gann a welterweight?
He's a lightweight.
Yeah, Tommy Gann's I thought he was a yeah. Um, but there are not really many like good wrestlers outside of or inside of the rankings. There are some solid ones outside of the rankings. So I honestly feel like he would be able to do pretty well. Like I think I see mixed back Orblai finding like a 14 or 15 ranking within welterweight, but I don't know if I see him like getting past that, honestly. All right, Navajo Star. Uh, my girlfriend, I was watching Navajo Sterling's fight against was it, I think it was Ion Cutelaba,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she compared him to the guy from the Lil Babies commercial. I don't know if y'all have watched the Lil Babies ice cream commercial where this dude's like, I eat Lil Babies. But I just thought that was funny, so I added it to the slides. Anyway, this guy, as I predicted, as we all knew, this guy was gonna knock out Jan Blachowicz in the first round. I didn't pick first round, but I did pick KO. But this guy's very good. Uh, I'm excited to see him breathe some life into the light heavyweight division, and I think next is either Roundtree or Paulo Costa, or maybe even like a Yuri Prohashka would be an
I
awesome match.
think Yuri. I
Yuri
think
would be an insane.
Uncle Ive Costa and Yuri Sterling.
Yeah.
I think actually that makes I think that makes a lot of sense in my opinion.
Sterling Yuri would be very interesting because I feel like, I don't know.
I
As
don't know how
much
that
as
would
I
work out
love
style
Yuri, I
wise.
do feel like Sterling would be able to find his range and his technicality in that fight.
I feel like the Yuri downfall is coming,
I have
unfortunately.
to agree. I'm not gonna lie. I think there are a few matchups he still wins. Like
Yeah.
I think he can beat like anyone who's kind of chinny and sort of wants to give up, but that's not Navo Sterling.
I mean, Roundtree, Reyes, Whitaker, he'd beat still, but
Yeah,
Costa he could beat maybe, but yeah, it might be a tough run for Yuri.
yeah. All right, Uros Medic, man. This is Mr. First Exchange.
I mean, he
His
walks him
nickname
down
is the
and cuts off their
Doctor.
meat.
He is walking down and cut off their meat. But this guy, bro, the first exchange, every fight, bro, like he creates these really huge first exchanges, and like he either loses the first exchange and gets knocked the fuck out, or he wins in spectacular fashion. And it's really interesting to see a
Yep.
fighter who's like that good at pressing the issue. Because like obviously he does get knocked out, but like he's so talented at finding these exchanges. And like obviously he got caught with that little leg kick at the start of the fight. He got caught by fucking Gilbert Urbina and whatever. But if you watch this guy, he's so
He got
fast.
chinned by Soriano.
He did get chin. Soriano, like he's powerful at the very least. Um,
He is, yeah.
but like if you watch this guy, he's so good at feinting. He's so fast, and he actually is quite good at recognizing when he's pressing the issue and when someone's about to throw a counter shot. That's what he's really good at as well. So like I feel like there are a lot of people that he's just going to be able to win the first exchange against and knock out. Leon is someone that everyone has been calling the next matchup for Uros Medic. Uros Medic has said himself twice his last two mic appearances. I feel like it's almost kind of inevitable. Like I feel like I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but now that it's been called out twice, I would like to think in my world that this will happen. What do we think?
Yeah. Leon needs to be like I think that matchup, I think it would make sense, but I don't know how much it actually boosts his stock. Like Leon kind of looks like he's done. He doesn't really look like he wants it anymore. I think a matchup with JDM would be really cool. I think it would make sense. JDM take a bigger step down in competition, and Medic obviously the big star in Serbia, Europe. JDM's a big star in Australia. I think that would be a really cool fight and something that would make sense in the eyes of the UFC
Hmm.
matchmakers. So I think maybe if I had it my way, I think I would do that and give
Yeah.
Leon just somebody unranked, honestly.
I don't know. Me personally, I don't know. Like I do see like what you're saying, but like I don't feel like that's Uros is like an unwinnable matchup for Leon. Like I could see Leon
It
winning
isn't.
with a submission in the first round, honestly. I could see him getting a knockout
Leon
in like
by
the second round.
Leon
Uh
by sub.
what?
Leon by sub is kind of
Leon by
crazy.
sub is not that I don't think it's that crazy. It's a little crazy, but like,
Bro, Leon's last win by sub was in 2016.
oh, you got Carlos Prates' back, bro. Well, I don't. I mean, Uros did get submitted by Bitsbek Orblai, which is not like a terrible thing to have on your resume, but
He did get subbed by Jalen Turner.
I do think he's just open for takedowns sometimes when he enters. Like he's very good striking wise the way he
Yeah,
enters, but I do feel like the way he like he's light, he's very light in his feet, but like he kind of dashes in. I think if you can time a takedown on him, he would fall right on his back. And I feel like,
yeah, that's fair.
if Leon does get this matchup, I'm not gonna pick Leon, but I think he'll do better than people say, personally.
That's fair.
All right. Usman Nurmagomedov. his UFC debut opponent, who would it be? We've already seen Saladin Parnasse get Dan Hooker off his debut. He beat, who is it? Freaking, was it Kenneth Cross? Or
Nick
was Kenneth
Cross.
Cross? Yeah, Kenneth Cross. Usman Nurmagomedov beat, you can call him, you know, what you want to call him, but he just beat a 13-0 PFL guy.
Colgan's good. Colgan is good.
Holgan's very good. He's beat a lot of like high level PFL guys.
And Manuel
Um,
Souza.
Manuel Souza as well. And I think that's a pretty undeniable win. And looking at his career, he's had a very good career. He's 22-0. I think in his UFC debut, he would get at least like a Benoit Saint Denis.
And
And
that's who I was about to bring
I
up.
think
I think
that's
that
a
would make sense.
super winnable matchup. Like I honestly don't see a world where he loses to Benoit Saint Denis, personally.
No, I don't either.
That would be a
I think he would
wild result.
100% win that fight.
Yeah. As far as his future in the UFC, me personally, like, there's no reason he won't be champ. Me personally, I don't feel him becoming a champion, even though, obviously Islam and Habib are both champs, and Usman definitely has all the tools to become a champ. I feel like Arman has a little bit more of that like dog in him, and I feel like he's more intimidating of a wrestler than Usman is.
I mean,
I
Usman's more of a
think.
striker first and foremost, I would
Yeah,
say.
I would agree. And Arman, I feel like, is honestly somewhat similar on the feet if we're really thinking about it. Both
I think
very
Usman's
kick
a better strike.
heavy, really
Usman's a better
flexible.
striker.
I would say Usman is a better striker because he
He's a
throws
better
more
frame for the
volume
division for sure.
and he's lankier. But I feel like they probably have around the same amount of power and they're both capable of throwing the same kind of strikes. They're both fast switch muscle as well.
Yeah.
Um, I just I could I
I think
could
he's a future champ.
I think like I can't say he's not. That's the thing. After that performance, I think he definitely could be. I mean, while I don't see him becoming a champ personally, that's I see him fighting for a title. Honestly, I see that. I see
I
him
think at some
fighting
point he
for
will hold the
and
belt.
losing a title. I think he will fight for a belt though. That's me
I
personally.
think he will hold the belt at some point.
I think he very well might. I don't know. I just think lightweight's such a good division, and I think like I could see him losing to a couple people at the top end of the division. And like I do think Ilya would start
That's
him
fair.
because Ilya is just a better Paul Hughes if we're thinking about
Yeah,
this.
probably. I don't know how long Ilya is going to be in
Now that
MMA.
he's taken a loss though, I could see him staying in the UFC for a bit longer, personally. Like
I I think that is true. I agree with
I feel
that.
like he's gonna want to avenge that loss with like at where he might have wanted to retire at, 20-0 before. I think now he's gonna want to retire at like 23-1, something like that.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I see Ilya like, and I don't see him really going to welterweight anymore. I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. Um,
Yeah. No, I don't
obviously
either.
he's his own guy. He's the person making the decision. We're not the people making that decision, so it might happen
I
anywhere.
think he'll come back and spark Patty.
Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like he's gonna be out long. I don't know. And I feel like he almost will take like the Patty matchup as like a insult. Like I feel like he's the kind of guy who always wants to be fighting for a belt if possible.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think the UFC wouldn't be angry at giving him a title shot, maybe one more title shot down the line, like Arman fights Gaethje and then Arman versus Ilya or Gaethje versus Ilya rematch. But I don't think I think
Yeah.
Gaethje's made it pretty clear
I
that he
could see
doesn't
that.
want that.
Yeah.
Um, moving on. The PFL MVP merger. Now, Jake Paul has announced that he's making his MMA debut. Guys, don't laugh. This is a serious topic. Don't laugh. Jake Paul is making his MMA debut, and we need to think about who we're gonna give him. Now, this guy, realistically, I think he's gonna be a light heavyweight. And if we're thinking about Jake Paul, what kind of matchups does Jake Paul like? He likes older guys. He likes,
Hands.
let me get this dude who's little at a heavier division. Let me get fucking Nate Robinson at light heavyweight. Dude's fighting a 5'9" Nate Robinson. I love how we all collectively forgot about that fight when Jake Paul starts. We all thought that Nate Robinson was gonna beat up Jake Paul just because he was an NBA player. Like he's not 5'9", and
That
significantly
was
lighter than
funny.
Jake Paul. But I think Jake Paul, we got to give him, at light heavyweight, we're gonna give him some middleweights, we're gonna give him that weighted management, that he likes. He likes to be heavier than his opponent. He likes to have the power advantage. He likes to just mog his opponent, for being real here. Um, I like Jake Paul versus a Jose Medina. I like Jake Paul versus a Val Woodburn, Um, if we're being real, both these guys probably beat Jake Paul, but like if I saw these
Sure.
matchups, I'd be like, interesting. Like Jake Paul might starch these dudes in the first minute. I feel like he has a solid chance of doing that to either of these guys. Or he gets like submitted 2 minutes later. Either of those two
Yeah.
results. Any thoughts?
That'd be really funny.
It'd be hilarious. All right. I have a little plot here. Now, it wasn't long ago that Ngannou was signed to the PFL and people were saying, "Oh, he beat Renan Ferreira. There's nothing else left for him here." With this MVP merger after he fought for MVP his last fight, I think there's a lot for him in the PFL, honestly. Like if Adam Nemkov stays with PFL, which I do think he's going to do, I think that'll be the next fight.
Yeah,
That would be a really, really cool
it should
fight.
be.
I think that would be honestly, like I feel like that'd be dope because I feel like it'd bring a lot of the casuals and the hardcores together. Because all the casuals
Yeah,
would just
I'd
love
be
to
there
see
for that
Francis
for
Ngannou
sure.
fight. And Vadim Nemkov is one of the most exciting heavyweight prospects outside the UFC. We've also got a couple
Yeah,
guys here not as relevant. Oleg Popov has a really good record. He's like 23-2, has a lot of decisions, so he's not like the most exciting opponent for Ngannou, but it'd be pretty cool to see like that's a good legacy win for Ngannou, having a guy with that good of a record on his resume.
yeah.
As well, we've got this dude's name. It's like Vasily or no, what is it? It's Bastille is his last name.
Belosini.
Yeah, Balestini is his last name. He's very good. He just beat Renan Ferreira. He also beat Tyrell Fortune with a heel hook, and I
Yeah,
think that would be an interesting fight because they're both very good strikers. And man, like I feel like this is kind of an interesting like thing to have outside of the UFC. Heavyweight's not the best in the UFC, and like I feel like these are some
yeah.
pretty high level matchups that we have for Ngannou outside of the UFC, and
Give him Corey Anderson.
I'm really they're gonna give him another light heavyweight, bro. Oh God, they're gonna give him Jake Paul in MMA. I heard that's Jake
That'd
Paul's
be so
debut.
fun.
Um, yeah, I think this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be an interesting side plot to see. All right, now for
It
Gamrot
sure
versus
is.
Salkild. Personally, feeling Salkild here. What are you thinking, Weller?
I'm leaning gamer. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm leaning gamer just because it's a 5 round fight and
Hmm.
it's in the Apex smaller cage. I think the wrestling game Rat's just so relentless in the wrestling, and he's made improvements in his striking technicality. He's definitely there to be hit, but I think he'll be able to get takedowns on Southkill and be able to definitely win the championship rounds. Like I think if this was a 3 round fight, I'd pick Southkill to win like a 29-28 decision. But I don't think he's going to be able to finish Gamrot unless he lands like a really clean head kick or just a really clean right hand over the top that just puts him out. But I think in a 5 round fight in a smaller cage, I think I'll favor the pace and pressure of Gamrot, hold up against Salkild, get his takedowns, out scramble him, get some damage off on the ground. I think Gamrot can win like a 48-47 decision here.
Honestly, totally agree. I feel like you know, 3 round fight, I'd be able to pick Gamrot a lot more confidently. I'm still gonna pick Salkild, but I think there is a lot of a uh question about what's gonna happen once he gets into the fourth round. I think there's potential that he slows it down a little bit, but just in this fight, I
I think
think
he will.
Quillen's long range attacks are going to be really nice. I think stabbing to the body is going to work really well against Gamrot to sort of like attack his gas tank a little bit. He throws really nice teeps and body kicks. I think being that lankier striker is going to help him a lot. Obviously, Gamrot can catch kicks. He's pretty good at that. But I think not being like an Esteban Ribovics who likes to dart in with these big hooks that create these huge opportunities for takedowns, Salkild's going to have like a bit of a barrier between him and Gamrot for a lot of this fight, I think. And I feel like while I do think Salkild will get taken down, honestly, I think he'll get taken down more than once in this fight. I think he'll avoid getting timed out. I think he's good at forcing scrambles and trying to get out of positions, even if, honestly, maybe I could see him giving up a sub, like trying to scramble too much potentially. Um, because I just don't think he's the kind of guy that wants to settle grappling, especially with a guy like Gamrot.
Yeah.
And I think if he's able to avoid getting timed out so much, maybe he loses a round or two with the grappling, but in some of the other rounds, he gets taken down for maybe 30 seconds and then is able to get back up the next 30 seconds. I think he will be able to do a good enough job establishing himself as the better striker, landing long range hands and kicks, and potentially stumbling Gamrot here and there, but I don't think he's going to win anything too big. Um, I think I see like maybe, I don't know. I can see a 49-48 in this one, but it's pretty hard to pick. I could see Gamrot winning as well. Um, I just I have to keep hope coping against Gamrot every time. I'm not gonna stop hope coping against Gamrot. Every single time I'm just gonna pick the prospect. I don't care how many prospects he turns back. One of them is gonna get there. And I think Gamrot does a little bit somewhat rely on fighting guys who are one-dimensional strikers. Like if we're being real, Ludovic Klein is a one-dimensional striker. Like he's great in the feet, but he just wants to be in the feet. Same thing with Esteban Ribovics. He's not really a grappler. I think Salkild's willingness to grapple might possibly be a problem for him in this in the fight, but I also think it's why he might be the guy to beat Gamrot. So that's my take. All right. UFC blunt rotation. We're doing a snake draft, baby. I think honestly, should we do all the divisions or should we just do like 3 of them and then do the other next video? What do you think?
Do all the divisions, honestly.
All right, let's do it. All right. Let's start off with heavyweight. I'll give Weller the first pick. So how this is gonna go is we're gonna do 2 picks per division each. One person's going to get the first pick, the other person's going to pick the next two, and then the other person picks their last pick. And then we'll go on the next round. All right, starting at heavyweight, Weller, who do you have?
There's some great candidates here,
Heavyweight
but
really is just a great division for smoking weed.
I think I'm gonna go Walter Walker. I think Walter Walker would be so
Walker
funny.
Walker. That's an
Shout
interesting one. It's kind
I,
of out of left field, honestly. I
I
wasn't expecting it.
thought about Derek Lewis. I thought about Shamil
Uh-huh.
Gaziev. I thought about Marcin Tybura a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Alvin Hines. I don't know why I thought of him, but
He is a former
I'll go Walter
felon.
Walker. I think Walter Walker, just like the way he talks, would be so funny to listen to.
Bro. I don't know though, dude. He might come up to you and smack your balls around a little bit. That's my only
That is, yeah, that's true.
issue. There's a video going around of Walter Walker going up to Guskov and just, hitting him with a little tappy tap. All right, I'm gonna go. I feel like, all right, what I'm going for here, not only do I want a good quality rotation, I also want I want people who know how to, I don't want like people tweaking out. I want people, finishing bowls. I want the rotation working smooth. We can't have fucking like,
Yeah,
let me just think, like, no offense to like Alexander Volkov, bro, but I feel like if I smoked the Alexander Volkov, he would start tweaking. There's certain people I just don't think are built for this. Some people are built for the UFC, but not for the UFC blunt rotation. It's just the way it is. I'm gonna go Tai Tuivasa. I put him right here for a reason in the slides. This guy's got plenty of video. He's
it's a
got
good
a
pick.
video after JDM lost to Prates where he's like, got all these different strains. We're gonna try them out. This guy's into weed enough that he's like cares about strains and stuff. So I think he's got to go on the list pretty conclusively. For my second pick, hmm, honestly, man, I feel like Johnny Walker would be really funny to look at. Keeping the Walker train
Uh,
on. I feel like Johnny Walker, like if we were standing up and I could just look at Johnny Walker's like frame and his face, he would be such an interesting person to look at. Like, and I also feel like he would
I was
just
gonna
be
take
like
Johnny Walker.
he'd be like dancing around and shit. Like he'd have the blunt and he'd just be like start hitting the worm or something. I think he'd be hilarious. All right, who's your last pick for heavyweight?
Oh wait, I forgot you're counting Johnny Walker as a heavyweight.
Well, he's going
Uh,
up, so I
I'll
guess I'm
go.
counting him. I think I'd rather count
Yeah,
him as a heavyweight than a light heavyweight. I could take it, but if
I'll go
Rich
Derek
doesn't
Lewis.
want me to.
I'll go Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis, all right. You think that's fair? Well, Johnny
Yeah,
Walker?
that's
I
fair.
think
That's
it's
fair.
fair. Yeah. Light heavyweight. All right, so I'm going first now, right? Uh,
Yeah.
who do I want to take? Honestly, bro, give me my goat, Uran Saldabaldiev, bro. Like I just ever since I started watching this guy, bro, he's just such a chill ass looking dude. Like, let me pull up a photo. If you don't know what Uran Saldabaldiev looks like, he just looks like such a friendly guy. I would love to have tea with him. I doubt
Oh,
he smokes
100%.
weed. He's definitely like Muslim, but he just looks
Yeah,
like he
definitely
looks like a
not.
very
But
nice guy. He looks like he would be like, compliment on you and your shirt. He would just he'd be the glue that ties the whole rotation. This guy would be like the guy that like passes the joint to another guy, like not even hitting it. Like he'd be like grabbing the joint and giving it to the guy down the line. Just being a nice guy walking it over. That's the type of guy that Uran Salapaltia is. It's my go right there. All right, who are you taking?
I'll go for Robert Whitaker. I think Robert
Ooh,
Whitaker
that's a
is
good bet. I like
super
that. I like that a
super
lot.
cool, down to earth dude. I think that would be a good addition to keep in there and keep the conversation flowing, keep vibes high.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like I need some more talkers. I feel like Tai Tuivasa is a talker. I need maybe a couple more talkers in my rotation. All right, go on. Your next pick.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Jan Blachowicz on the same note. I think like he'd be super chill, just very very calm and
Mm-hmm.
also just very friendly.
I'm gonna go with
I thought about Yuri, but Yuri would just tweak out.
Yuri. Yeah, I feel like Yuri would hate weed, honestly. I feel like
Yeah,
he's
he
not
would.
like a drug guy.
No,
Um,
definitely not.
let me think about this. This is a tough pick. There aren't like I don't feel like there are that many chillers at 205, you know?
Yeah,
All
I,
right.
I had a little bit of trouble.
All right. I'm gonna honestly I guess I'll go. Nah, I don't want Carlos Olberg because I feel like he's too big of an ego. Like I feel like it's gonna kind of bring down the rotation a little bit. Uh, give me, give me Zhang Minyang, bro. Just give me Zhang Minyang. Just for the memes, bro. Like honestly, we'll get the yappers in later. For now, we're just gonna get the aura guys. We're just gonna have a bunch of big dudes in the background, like guarding us, basically. You know, got a bunch. We got Johnny Walker and Jang Yang just to stare at. They're just novelty items for the rest of the group. They're effectively decoration. All right, middleweight. Who we taking, Weller? You're the first up.
Uh, Fluffy Hernandez. I think if you know anything about this guy, you
Yeah.
know why I'm taking him. He's a notorious stoner. I think that would be obviously a good addition to the group.
Mhm.
He knows his way around those type of things. I think he'd be a good addition there.
Yeah, you need guys who know their way around a joint for sure. I only have like Tai Tuivasa who actually like smokes on this lineup. Um,
You never know.
yeah, you never know. You never know. I feel like, damn. I feel like Damian Piñas definitely smokes weed and would be a total chiller. Personally,
I could see that.
I feel like I don't know. I see him being a dude from like Aruba. I just see him like smoking on the beaches, chilling. I feel like he would add a nice, relaxing vibe to the rotation. I don't feel like he's the type of guy to like be aggressive outside of fighting. He seems to me like a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And for my next pick,
What else you got?
bro, I never said I was gonna give you the joint back after you gave it to me, bro. I'm really sorry, but it's mine, and we don't have weed in South Africa, so I need it all right now. I'm gonna go with Dricus du Plessis. I think he would bring
I,
a level of comedy to the rotation that no one else can really match.
he's on my list.
Yeah.
So now you've taken him. I would
Yeah.
go Marvin Vittori.
Marvin Vittori. That's a good
I
that's a
think
good one. Oh, that's a good one.
he's like sneaky funny,
He would
I
be
think.
funny.
It's like also I feel like he'd start some problems with somebody, but like
Then
still
like
it'd be funny.
apologize. Yeah, I don't think he'd like actually like commit to it. All right, wait. So is it me up next now?
Yeah.
All right, I feel like this is a pretty obvious one. I'd feel bad if I didn't take this one. Gotta go with Carlos Prates. I don't know if Carlos Prates smokes weed, man, but I would really like to introduce him to the blunt because this guy smokes an unbelievable amount of cigarettes. Me personally, I just feel like cigarettes are lame and boring. So you gotta give him a joint, see how he reacts. He's also just a total chiller, good guy to party with. I feel like he would do some really funny shit with the rotation. I don't feel like he would be antagonistic to anybody. He's a pretty
Yeah.
chill guy to be around.
My first pick at this weight class, I'm gonna go with Oral By.
Hmm.
Same reasons as you picked Iran, just like it's funny to look, really funny to look at and just super chill, like nice guy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Uh
I would like to ride horses with Orabla, you know?
yeah. For my second pick, I'll go John Paul Labozniani.
Hmm.
Also just super funny dude, very normal guy. I think
Nice.
that'd be a good addition to the group.
All right. My computer's low, so we low-key gotta speed this up.
All right.
Um, shit. Who else? Low-key. Um, I'm just gonna take I'm gonna take Shavkat low-key. I feel like Shavkat and Nuron get along well. We get that little
Yeah.
Kazakh rotation going together. I think weed actually like originated in like the central steppe of Asia. So that'd be pretty interesting to see. We got the originators out there, smoking with us. I think
Yeah, I like that.
Shavkat would be nice little chill dude. He wouldn't talk much, but he'd be nice. Cool to have
Yeah.
there. All right, for lightweight.
I'm gonna start off with one of the men on the slide. I will go with the champion, Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
Obviously, he knows what he's doing. Funny guy, wouldn't start anything. I think he's a good addition to the squad.
Hmm. I'm gonna go with feel like this is kind of wild. This might be a wild pick, but give me Jim Miller, bro. I feel like Jim Miller would just be like a cool old head to have in the blunt rotation.
I don't mind that.
And I feel like Jim Miller just like he knows his techniques and stuff. I think I don't know. Something in me tells me Jim Miller likes to hit up the dispensary every once in a while.
Yeah.
My second pick, it's an interesting one. Just give me Bobby Green. I know he smokes hella weed, so give me Bobby Green.
Fair.
He'll
Second
he'll
pick.
he'll do like three blunts by himself. So
Yeah. Second pick, I'm going with another funny Brazilian. I'm going with Moicano.
oh, that's a good
I
one.
just know he'd say something ridiculous.
Moicano would be rage baiting everyone else there.
Yeah.
All right, featherweight. Let's think about this. Gene Silva, we've talked about this before, is the absolute nightmare. We're gonna stay far, far away from him.
Yep.
Um, I think Diego Lopez has just always struck me as a person who I would like to hang out with personally. Like he
Yeah,
just
that's
seems
fair.
like a really nice guy, like very humble beginnings. He grew up in Brazil and then moved to Mexico to go work and just always seems like a pretty polite guy. So and I mean unless you're Gene Silva, you make him angry or yeah, Rodriguez. But I feel like you have to be, peak rage bait to annoy this guy. So I'm gonna go with Diego Lopez.
I'm gonna start out here with Arnold Allen. I think he would just go nonverbal and it would be funny,
He would
really
immediately
funny.
go, not, he would, yeah, he totally would. That's really funny.
And then I'm also gonna go Brian Ortega. I think he knows what he's doing in that regard. And I think he'd be good at it. He'd just be like super, super chill.
Yeah, that's a good take. Low key, I don't know. This is a tough decision for the second pick, honestly. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Luke Riley just because I want one person who has a funny accent. Luke Riley has a very, very
I,
funny accent.
I
And
like
while
that.
some of the other people might have like, accents where like obviously it's funny when someone not from the US has a funny accent, but like it's a little cheap, you know? It's funny, but
Yeah, yeah,
you feel a little bad. When I'm laughing at a British person for their accent, I don't feel bad at all. If I laughed at
I
Luke
agree.
Riley for his accent, like I think he would also think it's funny because come on, dude. Liverpool accent is just funny. Like the way they talk is
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I'm gonna go with Luke Riley. All right,
Are we on the
bantamweight.
bantamweight?
Yeah, bantamweight.
I got first pick. Another obvious one. I'm going with
Peter
Corey Sandhagen.
Yan! What'd you say?
I'm going Corey
John
Sandhagen.
O'Malley. Yeah, it's gotta
I
be
think
right.
that's Corey knows what he's doing. He'd be super chill about
Oh,
it.
Corey. I thought you were gonna say Sean.
Yeah, no. No, I'm going Corey.
Gotcha,
Are you taking
gotcha.
Sean now?
Yeah, I thought I was trying to snipe you with the Peter Yan, with the Peter Yan. Shug call out, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Shug. Obviously, if you don't know, there's an old video of Shug where he like hits a bong, tosses it, and then starts like hitting the pad. So I feel like Shug's like the guy who genuinely back in the day probably used to hit bong before going into practice. So he'd be a cool guy to
Yeah.
have in the rotation for sure.
Who's your second?
Part of me, part of me, part of me wants to say Raul Rosas, but I think if I started laughing at him, he actually might chin me. Like I don't think he would find it. Like I don't think he'd find it
Yeah.
okay. So I don't think I can add him. Damn. Uh, I feel like second pick at bantamweight. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go Marcus McGee. He comes from that kind of skater lifestyle, so I think he probably knows his way around a joint. I think he just seems like a chill guy. Probably has some cool hobbies. Kind of another like unk kind of figure as well. He's an older guy, so I think he'd bring nice little vibe to the function.
I don't think this would go well in real life, but I'm gonna go with Bryce Mitchell here. I don't think he approves of that type of lifestyle, but I think it would be really funny to see what he would say. Him and Mike Kano would be talking about some nonsense.
Yeah,
But
he
videos
he might
chilling.
start a brawl between everyone there, but be a very interesting dynamic there.
Yeah.
Yeah, also I doubt you'd hit that shit. You'd be like, no, brother, it's not for me.
All right, 125, you get to start out.
I'm 25. Um, I just gotta go with my boy Ren Royval. I'm a big Ren Royval fan, so I think he smokes weed. I'm not 100% sure. I'm like
He definitely does.
99% sure he does. He just seems like a total chiller, really nice guy. I feel like me and him would get along, so I'm gonna go with him first for sure.
My first pick, I'm gonna go Horiguchi. I think just super chill dude. He'd bring good vibes to the rotation, and he'd be somebody I would want to have in there.
Hmm.
And my second pick, I'm gonna go Joshua Van. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's definitely done that before. I don't know if he like is a regular on that type of thing, but
Partaker, yeah.
I think he's definitely been there before. Also, another super chill dude. I don't think he'd start too much beef. Be pretty funny, so I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah. All right, for my second and final pick of the draft, you guys will have to let us know in the comments who has the better rotation. Um, Man, it's tough. I feel like I definitely really wanted Joshua Van, I'm not gonna lie. Um, I'm gonna go with Eminal Rodriguez. He just seems like a pretty cool guy to me. I feel like
I don't hate
being
that.
like a Mexican dude, he'd probably know his way around it. Um, Young and hungry dude. I don't have a lot of like young dudes in my rotation. And I don't know. I think he would just be an interesting guy to have. I feel like there aren't too
Solid.
many people who they don't really strike me as like smokers, and I feel like he's one of the few flyweights that does kind of strike me as he might enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
that's
right,
fair.
that is the end. This is our
All right.
pro debut. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We try to get some new kind of talking points here, not just doing predictions. Uh, Enjoy.